What is going on, my people of the planet? I hope all is well with you and yours. I am D Venom, and welcome to another episode of Raising Vibrations Podcast. Now, with that being said, you guys, I am on a roll with this whole angelic number phenomenon. Yes, the angelic realm has been reaching out to me as of early this morning until now. I wrote down some angelic numbers to share with you guys, but I will do that here shortly. I want to talk to you guys all about how my spirit upsets people's demons, and my spirit showed me how much I upset people's demons when I was working at the casino, and it's showing me how I upset people's demons within the Matrix world. I was just at the gas station. I was getting a Slurpee and a donut, things that I don't need, and I ran into someone. I won't share their name, but I ran into them, and we've had a very, very drug-induced relationship. This person has affiliation with the individuals that came up to my car that particular evening, pondering what I was doing when I was recording from my podcast addressing you guys. Anyway, there was an evening where I ran across this person, or I went to them to converse with them. I was given a little bit of methamphetamine for jumping a person's vehicle. I will explain that story at a different time. Anyway, I did not realize that it wasn't enough to share, and thank God that it wasn't. I never went back to where that person said that they were going to be. For one, as I just mentioned, it wasn't enough methamphetamine to share with anyone. Well, I could have shared, but I didn't feel like it. And for two, I just didn't feel like being bothered. I was working on my social media platforms and doing a lot of other different things and smoking that little bit of methamphetamine that was given to me. And I was just in my own world. No porn, nothing like that. But I was just in my own world, focusing on what I needed to be focused on. And I just never went back to visit that person. Anyway, I seen them at the gas station, and I explained to them in so many words why I did not return back to where they said they were going to be that particular night. And I didn't get a reply, so I didn't think they heard me. So I mentioned it again, and I said, "Did you hear me?" And they were like, "Yeah," mumbled a couple of other things and kept doing what they were doing. So body language and the way that they answered me let me know that they didn't want to be bothered. So I got my items, turned my back, and pretty much was, getting ready to walk out the gas station. They murmured a couple of other things, and I kept doing what I was doing, and they ended up leaving the gas station before I did. They didn't say bye or anything like that. Now, mind you, this same exact person is someone that I had in my vehicle on a ratchet night of methamphetamine, and we could have got caught up for a decent exposure considering all the places that we went to in order to, have sexual fun. And you don't know me anymore type scenario. And I'm just like, obviously my spirit upsets your demons, because for one, this person wasn't there that night when those individuals walked up to my car pondering what I was doing. So I'm pretty sure they got the word that, I was shooting for a alleged podcast, etc., etc. Either way it goes, I have a vehicle. Not that I'm trying to put anyone down. They also have a vehicle. Well, not this person, but they are affiliated with individuals that frequent the park, and they have a vehicle. So if they wanted to go somewhere, I'm sure that they could, catch a ride with the individuals that have a vehicle. But I have a vehicle. I have a place. I have a roof over my head. Though I used to be homeless twice, maybe 3 times. But, I have it somewhat going on for myself. And I can tell that somewhat bothers them, because, they're pretty much in the predicament that they want to be in. We talked on several of them. Well, we talked maybe on 1 or 2 of occasions in regard to our life and, the spiritual realm and things of that particular. And we actually had a really good conversation, myself and this person that chose to ignore me. And they choose to live this life. They know that they are smart, and they know that they have abilities, but they rather use their smartness towards the streets, and they rather use their abilities towards making a I don't know, how can I say it, just using nature to house themselves, which is not a bad thing. Instead of busting a job and paying rent, or getting on Section 8, whatever the case may be, they're choosing to live this particular life for themselves. And you can't get upset with me, not saying that that's what they're upset about, but you can't get excuse me, you guys, you can't get upset with me because I live one particular way, and when you choose to live another way, and either way it goes, my spirit is upsetting some demons. And especially in the Matrix world, people get upset real quick when you are doing better for yourself than what they are. Anyway, my receipt came up to, getting back into the angelic numbers, $2.44. When I got in my vehicle and checked the time, it was 5:55. I had a letter to mail, and I went over to the mailbox, which is in the same parking lot as the Circle K. And there was some numbers that was wrote down on the cement in front of the mailbox, which read, I think, 4555. And I ended up taking a picture of that for my own symbolic reasoning. I love this whole angelic number sequence synchronicity thing. It's really taking me to where I need to go in regard to my spiritual walk and my spiritual path. I just cannot wait for the ending results to see exactly where these numbers place me. Anyway, I'm using a lot of gas up on y'all. I can shoot content at my apartment, don't get me wrong, but sometimes in life you have to not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Let me rephrase that. You don't want your left hand to know what your right hand is doing, pretty much is what I said to begin with, but I was swallowing something at the same time, and that word didn't come out too clear, so I wanted to rephrase. But I live around some nosy ass people, and I don't want folks all up in my business. I live a certain way, and I have white noise machines all through my apartment for a reason, and that's to keep people up out of my shit. Aside from that, I don't really like my neighbors like that. I'm just gonna keep it real. So I choose to record away from home, and the fact that it's hot out here in Arizona, and I'm in my vehicle, I'm having to run my car in my air. And I'm not complaining about this at all, you guys. I'm doing this for a good purpose, and that is to raise the vibrations of the universe. So 6:33, let me write that down. The time is 6:33. I just looked at the time. I told y'all I'm on the road with this angelic number thing. 6:30 motherfucking 3. Excellent. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to quiz you all today. Getting off the subject of gas, I'm going to quiz you all today. This quiz is courtesy of Yamil Yamuna. Yamil Yamuna was brought into my life when I visited a store here in Arizona called the Astrology Store. I went there looking for a book that centered around speaking to the universe. They didn't have that particular book there, but they told me to look around, and they showed me what sections to look for particular books. As I'm looking, I see this particular book that's white with gold wording and designs on it. I read the front cover of the book, and it says, Yamil is a powerful and authentic spiritual guide, Kyle Gray. And I went on further to read the 7 type of spirit guide, how to connect and communicate with your cosmic helpers, Yamil Yamuna. And I'm like, let me leaf through this book and see if this is the type of book that I would want to read. So as I'm leafing through the book, I automatically knew that this book would be the type of book that I would want to read, and this book would be the type of book that would lead me further to pieces of my spiritual path that need to connect. And I ended up buying the book. Anyway, I finally made it to the quiz portion of the book in regard to what top 3 spirit guides am I working with. Now, I'm not going to say I always knew that I had cosmic helpers, because I did not always know that I had cosmic helpers. But as I realized throughout my life that I have cosmic helpers, I started taking pictures and videos and things of that particular nature of my cosmic helpers, because I would see them in like tile on the floor or on the wall or something like that, and I would want proof of them. Not saying that they always wanted me to get that proof, because some of my cosmic helpers are very private, but a lot of them didn't mind being in the spotlight, and I would take their pictures and I would post them on my Pinterest board. Anyway, and I gave you all my social media platform names, so feel free to check out my Pinterest boards, and you will see some of those pictures in regard to my cosmic helpers and stuff like that. But anyway, I did the quiz and I found out 3 of my main cosmic helpers, and it brought me to tears. I'm not even gonna lie. I will share those with you at the end of the quiz, but I have a store to go to, which is called Aldi's, and I'm sure a lot of you guys remember the store Aldi's back in your childhood and even in your adult years. But Aldi's is one of those stores that I absolutely love, and they're cheap in price, and they have some really good name brand food. Anyway, let's delve into the quiz so that I can get my ass to Aldi's and grocery shop. Alright, so get a paper and pencil. I will give you guys about 5 minutes to do so, because I want you all to figure out what your main spirit guides are, or your main 3 spirit guides are. While you guys do that, let me get a drink of the Slurpee that I bought. I can't wait to do a ASMR episode where I am talking to you guys and I'm smacking and chewing and going to town on some food and beverages. I love ASMR eating, especially if it's anything that has to do with crunchy food. Right now, I'm into raw vegetables and fruit when it comes to ASMR eating videos. I have a couple of ASMR videos on my YouTube platform, but they're not as good as the ones that I like to watch. So anyway, let's get down to the quiz. So question number 1. When you were young, what were your favorite bedtime stories, movies, and or books about? Now remember, this is courtesy of Yamil Yamuna, the writer and creator of the book, the seven type of spirit guides, how to communicate and connect, or how to connect and communicate with your cosmic helpers. So number 1, when you were young, what were your favorite bedtime story, movies, and books about? A, heroes and superpowers. G, heavenly helpers coming to the rescue. E, animals. F, space or life on other planets. D, nature and wilderness adventures. B, ghosts or the past, stories your grandparents would tell you. C, monks, nuns, saints, or other spiritually minded people. Those are the choices. Number 2, what do you want? Let me rephrase. What do you most like to do in your free time? A, create things. E, volunteer at a local animal shelter. G, support others with whatever they need. C, meditate. B, spend time with my family or your family. F, anything related to my computer, social media, or the internet, which is, I chose that one. And D, hike and spend time in nature. Those are the choices. And for number 1, I chose A, heroes with superpowers. Number 3, what kind of spiritual healing have you done or would you like to do? A ceremony in a pyramid. G, twin flame karma release. D, I can't pronounce it, but I will spell it. AYAHUASCK, ayahuasca ceremony. E, swimming with dolphins. F, a Reiki session. B, ancestral healing. C, a silent meditation retreat. And that's the answer I chose. So those are the answers. The questions. Those are the choices for number 3. Number 4, how do you experience your intuition? In my gut or a physical sensation is what I chose. That's letter D. G, as an emotion or feeling in my heart area. F, as in Frank, as a sudden insight or light bulb moment. A, as a request or command. E, as an unconscious instinct. C, as advice or a lesson. B, on a very deep and cellular level. Those are the choices. And as I told you all, if I didn't tell y'all, I chose D, in my gut or a physical sensation. Number 5, what superpowers would you like to have? Now, I had to do some research in regard to this particular question, and I chose F, which is telepathy or telepathy. So there's F, telepathy. E, shape shifting. If you are unfamiliar with shape shifting, I looked it up on YouTube, and it's quite the phenomenon, but it's far-fetched from right now. Basically, shape shifting is when you can change and transform your own physical being into anyone else, including animal shapes and stuff like that. So that's shape shifting. I have yet to see anyone shape shift in front of me, and I chose a more realistic answer, which is telepathy. Anyway, so F, telepathy. E, shape shifting. D, instant manifestation. G, healing powers. B, speaking to the dead. C, infinite wisdom and knowledge. A, immorality. Those are the choices for number 5. Number 6, what's the craziest spiritual experience you've ever had wait, let me rephrase. I'm sorry, you guys. What is the craziest spiritual experience you've ever had or would like to have? D, I was visited by an elf, gnome, or mermaid. B, I saw a ghost. G, I was overcome by love and gratitude and surrounded by a white light and sparkles. C, the one I chose, I reached an enlightened state while meditating. E, I felt that I transformed into an animal. F, I had an encounter with an alien or UFO. A, I was crowned as a king or queen or put in another important leadership position. Those are the you know what I'm saying, the choices for 6. Number 7, what is your favorite food? G, dessert and sweets is what I chose. A big banquet with lots of choices. C, a simple but nourishing meal. D, fruits and vegetables. E, meat. B, our favorite family recipe. F, I eat because I have to, not for pleasure. Those are the choices for number 7. And as I told you guys, I chose G, desserts and sweets. 8, what would you like your spirit guides to help you with? G, helping others in some capacity. A, becoming more powerful. F, understanding and healing my feelings of not belonging on this planet. D, is what I chose, saving the planet from destruction. That is my spiritual contract, saving the planet from destruction. E, fighting for animal rights. B, improving family relationships. C, reaching enlightenment. And I would have chose that one, but I went by my spiritual contract. 9, what kind of imaginary friend did you have or would like to have as a child? E is what I chose, a tiger, wolf, or dragon. And if you guys have been following me or listening to me, you know that I have a big infinity when it comes to dragons and unicorns. G, an angel. B, my deceased grandmother or grandfather. D, a fairy, mermaid, gnome, or an elf. A god or goddess. F, a visitor from another planet. C, a wise, patient, and compassionate teacher. Those are the choices for question number 9. Number 10, where would you live? Where would you like to live? I had to do some research on this one because I would have chose a house on the hill somewhere. But after doing research, I'm telling you, this book is bringing me a little bit closer to my spiritual path and piecing some things together for me. Now, A, in a castle. D, in a house on the countryside. F, in a futuristic house with all of the newest technology. I didn't give a fuck about that. E, on a farm. C, in a monastery or ashram. B, in a house that belonged to your family for generations. G, in a home with white minimalist interior design and a calm, peaceful atmosphere. So a home with minimalist interior, white interior. Let me read that again. I'm sorry, you guys. In a home with white minimalist interior design and a calm, peaceful atmosphere. Those are the choices for question 11. I chose. What do you guys think I chose? I'm going to leave this question blank, and I'm going to see if you guys chose right in regard to my particular choice for number 10. 11. As a kid, what did you think you wanted to be when you grew up? G, a nurse, teacher, or other person who helped others. F, a scientist or an astronaut. E, a veterinarian or other person whom worked with animals. D, a park ranger, environmentalist, or gardener. A, famous. C, a monk or nun. B, just like my favorite family member. And I chose B, just like my favorite family member, which would happen to be my grandmother. Which of the below, this is question 12, which of the below best describes the type of upbringing you had? Now, I answered this question, I answered this with several answers, so to speak. And I only know that I can only choose one. I only knew that I can only choose one. But yeah, if I had to choose, I would have chose all 4 of the answers that I chose. But which of the below best describes the type of upbringing you had? A, strict but fair. C, my parents always trusted me to make the wise decisions for myself, or make wise decisions for myself. F, I felt like a bit of an outsider in my own family. Now that's the one I chose. G, even as a child, I had to take care of others, such as parents or siblings. I chose that one as well. I didn't have to take care of my parents or anything, but I did have to take after individuals that drank too much, passed out, pissed on themselves, and stuff like that during adult card games. Not adult card games like that where people were taking off clothes and stuff, but adult card games where adults were playing for money. And, people would get a little bit too intoxicated. And, as I said, I would have to clean up after their asses. And it, kind of took away from my childhood in a way. Let's see here. B, at least one of my family members suffer from abuse or addiction. I chose that one as well because I did. And I'm going to share a story with you in regard to my mom nearly being murdered. But I seen my mother and my grandmother on, several of occasions being abused by the men that they chose to deal with. And their addiction ran pretty big in the family as well. The letter D, I was encouraged to spend as much time outdoors as possible. I chose that one as well. And E, I learned to be competitive early on. Number 13. If you had the chance to do one of the things listed below, which would it be? Hold on one second. Let me wipe my forehead, you guys. Okay. If you had a chance to do one of the things listed below, what would it be? E, to make sure that humans respect the rights of others living. Hold on, you guys. I do apologize. I'm trying to read this as quickly as possible so I can get through this and get to Aldi's. So, if you had a chance to do one of the things listed below, which would it be? E, to make sure that humans respect the rights of the other living beings on Earth. A, to bring leaders of the world together to create world peace. C, to plant the ability to make wise decisions in everyone's hearts. G, to heal all sick and feed all the hungry. D, to clean up the environment. B, to ensure that future generations don't make the same mistakes that we did. That's the one that I chose. That's a part of my future. That's a part of my spiritual contract. To ensure that future generations don't make the same mistakes that I did or we did. F, to create technology that gives everyone the freedom to pursue their dreams. Those are the choices for 13. Number 14. What is your favorite way to connect with the divine? D, out in nature. That's what I chose. E, through physical activity. A, with a joyous celebration. F, in community. B, using ritual or ceremony. C, journaling. G, prayer. What do you struggle with the most? Number 15. Handling my responsibilities. That's A. B, family relationships. D, self-discipline. F, expressing emotions. C, being too verbose. G, self-worth. That's what I chose because I have a lot of issues in regard to self-worth. And E, anger issues. 16. Where would you prefer to go on vacation? B, the Great Wall of China, the Egyptian Pyramid, or the Colosseum of Rome, or in Rome. F, a hacker camp, a cryptocurrency convention, or Burning Man. D, hiking in the Grand Canyon, skiing in the Alps, or camping at a beach. C is the one I chose, a writing retreat, a Buddhist temple of Thailand, or a yoga retreat in India. G, a luxurious spa, a resort in the Bahamas, or a shopping trip to New York City. A rented castle with a butler, Richard Branson's Necker Island, or Balmoral, a summer resident of the Queen of England? E, a safari, or sports hotel, or survival camp? Those are the choices for 16. 17. How do you spend your weekends? D, having a good time with friends. A, pampering my motherfucking self. That's what I chose. G, taking care of everyone else and then relaxing with a glass of wine in the evening. C, reading. F, working on my computer. E, exercising at the gym. B, spending quality time with my family. Number 18. What cause would you donate money to? C, an initiative to record the oral wisdom of the indigenous people of the world. E, and that was letter C, I'm sorry. E, a rescue shelter for traumatized animals. F, a research program to find life on other planets. That's what I chose. D, a rainforest conservation organization. G, an orphanage. A leadership program for understanding youth for underprivileged communities around the world. Or B, an archaeological expedition to find the remnants of Atlantis and Lemuria. 19. Which of the following describes the past life you most like to have or have had? So let me read that again. Which of the following describes the past life you'd most like to have had? C, a nun or monk in Tibet. G, the head of a charity helping street kids in Victorian England. F, the creator of an important invention that changed humanity forever. A king or queen. D, a traditional healer who worked with plants. B, the answer I chose, a member of ancient shamanic tribe. So a member of an ancient shamanic tribe. Or E, a lion. Number 20. How would you like to celebrate your next birthday? A big birthday party. Everyone is invited. G, a fundraiser for my favorite charity. B, surrounded by my dearest family and friends. F, an event with a live stream to include all of my friends I've made online. So an event with live stream to include all of my friends that I made online. C, just me and a book, something I chose. D, a beach gathering. E, a fun day engaged in my favorite physical activities. Those are the choices for number 20. 21. If you only had 1 year to live, how would you spend it? F, developing an artificial intelligence that lets me communicate from the other side when I'm gone. B, making sure my loved ones know how much I appreciate them. A, creating a legacy I can be remembered by. That's what I chose. C, preparing for a spiritual transformation that death brings. E, living quietly on the countryside with all of my pets. G, making sure that everyone will be taken care of after I'm passed away. Or D, on a tour of the most beautiful places on earth. 22. How do you sabotage yourself? 1 second, you guys. Let me wipe my face real quick. So how do you sabotage yourself? D, I tend to distrust other humans. B, I have a hard time trying new things. G, I have addictive tendencies. C, I can be a bit of a know-it-all. E, I can be too impulsive. A, I've been told I'm too bossy. F, I don't always deal well with emotions. I chose G, I have addictive tendencies, and you guys know that I am unfortunately a methamphetamine addict, so that proves that I have addictive tendencies, unfortunately. 23, what do you admire most in others? I chose wisdom, which is C. So A, power, C, wisdom, but I decided to change that answer. Considering I'm an empath, I should have known this. I love empathy in people. So let's go back to the answers again. A is power, C is wisdom, E is decisiveness, G, empathy, F, intelligence, D, creativity, B, rootedness. 24, what kind of celebrities do you admire? Historic figures, B, F, scientists, D, environmentalists, A, leaders, G, philanthropists, C, spiritual teachers is what I chose, E, sports professionals. And last question, which of these activities relaxes you most? Engaging in my favorite hobby, which is F, as in Frank, engaging in my favorite hobby. D, gardening. I would have chose that one, but I chose something else. G, having a glass of wine. B, spending time with loved ones. E, moving my body. A, knowing that someone else is in charge for now. C, meditation. I chose C, meditation. Now, tally up your answers, you guys. And the first three how can I say it? The first three letters that you chose that has the most, damn, that didn't even come out right. Just tally up the first three answers that you guys have, and whatever the letters that you guys have the most of are pretty much your ancestors. I mean, pretty much your spirit guides. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm all over the place. I'm looking across the street. I'm talking to you guys. I have this Slurpee in my hand. I'm excited. I'm happy. Look, you guys. I did not do any methamphetamine today. I didn't do any yesterday, and I didn't do any today. Now, I won't lie. I did, a little trick where, you put a little, I won't tell the trick, but I did a little trick and I got a couple of puffs from the methamphetamine bubble that I use. But aside from that, I have not tried any other tricks. I have not done anything else to get any puffs of methamphetamine. So I consider this to be my day 2 of being clean off of methamphetamine, even though I did cheat and do that little thing earlier and got a couple of puffs off of that. But I did not do any methamphetamine, and I don't plan on it, you guys. I put my money back in the account. Well, it will be going back into my account. That's why I went to the Circle K to begin with to mail my letter, because there is a mailbox in their parking lot. So I went to go mail my money back off to my branch of choice, because my branch is not here in Arizona. It's still local in Illinois. Anyway, A, if you got the most A's, then that means your spiritual guides that you are working with are deities. D-E-I excuse me, you guys. Oh my God, I can never sneeze once. Anyway, if you got a lot of A's, you are working most with deities. D-E-I-T-I-E-S. If you have a lot of B's, you are working most with ancestors. If you got a lot of C's, you are working most with ascended masters. I got the most C's than anything. So those particular numbers that I looked into via YouTube were telling the truth, that I am working with ascended masters. I am working most with ancestors, and I'm working most with deities, star beings. Okay, I'm working most with ascended masters first, star beings second, and I'm working most with nature spirits, and ancestors, deities. Animal guides come last and angels come last, but the top two are ascended masters and star beings. And then I scored equal in regard to deities, ancestors, and nature spirits. Okay. So, if you got the most A's, you have deities on your team. If you got the most B's, you have ancestors. If you got the most C's, you have ascended masters. If you got the most D's, you have nature spirits as your top guides. If you got the most E's, you have animal guides as your top guides. If you got the most F's, you have star beings as your top guides, And if you got the most G's, you have angels as your top spirit guides. I feel like this, and Yamil has a shorter version of the test online somewhere. Just look up Yamil, Y-A-M-I-L-E, Yamuna, Y-E-M-O-O-N-Y-A-H. And I'm sure you can find out how to download that particular short version of the test and look up more information about Yamil along the way. Anyway, I'm going to end this so I can get my butt to Aldi's, but I wanted to do that test with you, or that quiz with you guys, because I'm curious to know my people out there, and I'm curious to know what spirit guides you guys are working with. So please, after doing the quiz, leave me some comments and let me know what type of spirit guides you guys are working with. It would be I'm very curious to know this. So don't be afraid to reach out to me and be like, look, bitch, don't come at me like that. But just be like, look, I am working with ancestors and I'm working with star beings, and I'm working with animal spirits. Let me know what spirits you guys are working with. I am so curious. All right, you guys, y'all have a good, blessed weekend. I made it through, you guys. I made it through. Even though the weekends are tough for me in regard to relapse, I made it through. All right, you guys, if I can do it, you can too. With that being said, this is D Venom, and welcome to Raising Vibrations Podcast. Namaste.